So lately, one of my one of the creators that I follow made kind of this like 30-minute long rant video just talking about random stuff, and I really connected with that video, and so I thought, hey, uh, why not give it a shot myself? Kind of talk about what I've been going through lately and like the state of ecstatic and just kind of talk. Um, so yeah, and I'm really gonna try to not filter anything that I say or that I think because I don't know. I hate it when other people do that when they like act like they're being honest and genuine, but they're not. And I don't know. I feel like that's something that I've struggled with a lot, like being super honest and not using a filter. Well, I don't know. I would say that I'm a pretty honest person. Like I don't like to lie. I'm terrible at it. But I was also like horribly scared of punishment when I was younger. And so I would always be like the super squared away dude following all the rules when I was like, 10 years old. And so I would always tell my friends like, "Oh, don't use those words, don't whatever, right?" And I'm so done with that. And then, when I started making music, I thought, okay, here we go. I can finally be 100% honest. I can say whatever the heck I want. And I start doing that. And I'm a Christian, right? And I have been basically my whole life. And I really, like lately especially, I've kind of had to grapple with, like, I know this is just so stupid, but like I've been kind of grappling with like using profanity on songs and whatever, because like fuck is such a good word. Like it just fits perfectly everywhere, and it just like it conveys such a raw emotion when like you use it correctly. And I don't know, I mean, I'm just trying to do my best. Like I never set out here to make Christian music per se. And this is also like a side tangent, but I think that that's kind of like a stupid category. Like why do we have Christian music? Like shouldn't Christians just make music and it happens to glorify God, instead of having this like marketable genre of Christian music? Why don't we just have Christians who are making music and expressing how they feel and making art, as opposed to like trying to fit in this one specific genre and, you know, thinking that they're pleasing God? I mean, okay, that sounds terrible. I'm a little bit fed up. All right. I guess I should say like I think that worship music definitely has a place, but like why Christian music? That doesn't make any sense to me. But so my life as of late. So a lot of you guys probably noticed I have been posting all kinds of different genres lately. And it's kind of just, I've kind of been just trying to figure out like what I'm good at, if that makes sense. Some of you guys might not know this, but I started a couple side projects. Like I have a ragecore side project where, you can hear me like screaming a lot, and I have a lo-fi side project. And honestly, like I love making heavy, distorted, grungy, angry music. But I don't know if that kind of music, like, okay, this this is gonna sound really cringe, okay? But I don't know if angry, frustrated, sad music is good for the world. Like, I used to think that it was so good because it helped people with their suffering and struggling and made them feel that they're not alone. And I mean, it does make you feel better, like when you're sad and you hear a song that reflects your emotional state. But I just, I think it, for a lot of people, it just pulls them down deeper into that hole. Like, people just, like myself, and I'm guilty of this too, they decide that they like sad music, and so they only listen to sad music. And it makes them feel sad even when they're happy. And I don't even know where I'm going with this, but like I just don't know if it's, I don't know if it's good for the world, you know? Like, shouldn't I be making stuff that lifts people up, I guess, and makes them, you know, feel happy and whatever, i.e. Porter's latest album? I don't know. Because at the same time, like what is art? You know, like, I'm not making this, or at least I don't feel like I should be making this for other people, right? Like, everybody says, oh, whatever you do, make sure that you're making music for yourself, right? Like, everybody's heard that. So if I'm making it for myself, then maybe I should just make whatever the fuck I want. You know, maybe I should just make angry, distorted, terrible stuff, right? Like, or I mean, high quality but terrible. What's that quote from Harry Potter? Terrible but great. Basically, I guess I'm like trying to decide whether or not it's like morally irresponsible to make what's the word? Immoral music, I guess I should say. Not to say that like sad or angry music is immoral, but you know what I'm saying. But anyway, as far as what has been like actually going on with my life lately, I am 19, man, 19, and I took a gap year to focus on music, really. And at first, it pretty much sucked. I don't know. I mean, all of my friends were gone, you know, when I was kind of adapting to it, I guess. But, and well, also I was streaming. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was when I was streaming too. And I wish I still had time to stream, but when I was streaming, you guys, like, my mental health was at an all-time low. Like, I would make actually okay. That's right. So I was streaming senior year before I graduated. But basically I would make music all day, and then not all day. I would like go to school, I would go to work, whatever. But my only two hobbies were making music and streaming. And of course, you know, gaming, but that like falls under streaming, right? And so it becomes one of those things, right, where if your only two hobbies are indoors sitting in front of your computer, not around people, especially like both of those activities, especially streaming, like I wasn't really streaming for me, if that makes sense. Like, I was at first, but once you get kind of like hooked into streaming, you know, you do it because you have to. And that was just like not mentally healthy for me. And so I'd like to do it again, but the reason why I stopped is because I started doing martial arts. And this is like a totally separate rant, honestly. Like, I could make a whole video on this. Maybe I will. I don't know. But so I used to do martial arts for like a really long time. I did Taekwondo for 9 years, so ages 9 to 18. And like, looking back at it now, there was more good than there was bad. But I went to like a really, really like family oriented place, and it was a total McDojo. And, you know, I ended up working there ages 15 or 16 to 18. So we're talking like 2 to 3 years. And that was just it was an interesting experience. I mean, I'd really just have to make a whole separate video on it. But basically, all of the, like, I got so fed up with all of the BS that went on with like super westernized martial arts. Like giving belts away to people who don't deserve it, etc. Right? That I had just like totally given up hope on martial arts. And then I heard little old Joe Rogan talking about this thing called Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I was like, what the heck is Brazilian jiu-jitsu? And he was talking about it like it was like a real legit thing. Like it wasn't filled with BS like what I had been exposed to. And I kept on seeing people talk about it, and I was like, man, I would really love to try that. And then COVID hit, and then I couldn't for like a year, right? But then 2021 rolls around, and I went and I tried it out, and I got into it, and like, no joke, almost all of my complaints about super westernized martial arts were fixed in BJJ. And like, it's awesome. It is fucking awesome. Okay. Like, once again, it'll have to be a whole separate video, but like having a place that I could go every night and just hang out with people relatively close to my age, sort of. Actually, that's not even true. That's most of them were like older guys. But regardless, like having a place that I could go that I didn't have to go to every night or however many times a day as I wanted to go, where I could just wrestle with people and, make jokes and just get a dopamine high, right? That was a game changer for me, for sure. And like ever since I started doing BJJ, and recently I just started doing Muay Thai, man, my mental health has just gotten so much better. So as much as I wish that I could still stream, and I often do wonder, like, if I had kept streaming, where would I be now? I mean, it hasn't been that long. It's only been like a year, right? But still, I wonder, right? But I wouldn't go back and trade it for anything, because, like, seriously, that has been probably the best thing that's happened to me this year, with the exception of being reposted. Well, okay, no, that's not true. BJJ was way better than, or has been way better than getting reposted. But, dude, getting that repost on that remix, that was pretty amazing. So I'm getting like way off topic here. I'm gonna have to edit this like really hardcore. But getting my As the World Caves In, I couldn't remember the name. Getting my As the World Caves In remix reposted, that, like, I really needed that win because of all of this college nonsense. Okay, so before I went on that super long tangent about martial arts and whatever, right, I mentioned that I took a gap year. So I did not go to college, really. I mean, okay, technically I took like a couple classes, but I ended up dropping one of them, and then the other one was like super easy. So I basically didn't go. And as I mentioned before, it was so that I could focus on music, which I'm super glad I did now. But, at the beginning it was kind of rough. But so lately, I mean, the past few months, man, I have been trying to figure out what I'm doing next year. And by far, that has been the biggest thing weighing on me lately. History lesson. the original plan was that I was going to do community college for computer science, and then I would transfer somewhere and I would get my bachelor's in comp sci, and that would be that, and I would keep doing music on the side, and then somehow magically I would turn music into a full-time job. Somehow I would blow up along the way or whatever, okay? And and in my defense, that's how you always hear about it happening, right? Like people are they're doing their own thing, they're making music on the side, and then their track blows up on SoundCloud and all of a sudden they're playing EDC, right? So, I thought, why couldn't that happen to me, right? And to be fair, like I'm not saying that I deserve to be playing at EDC or anything like that. That's like a whole different realization. That's a whole different video. But I really felt like, and for you non-religious people, this may be a little odd, but I really felt like God was calling me to go to music school. And, I haven't really felt God talk to me per se like that before. So I was weirded out. But so I was like, okay, well, I will give that a shot. And I had written off music school like so long ago because I knew that it wasn't probably going to be worth it. And because I had already, I've already been producing for like 3+ years at this point, right? But I was talking to my voice teacher about it, and he was saying, how it would be probably the best place for me to meet connections. And, if I got into a really prestigious school in a music city, then I would be in a music city, and it would just give me lots of opportunities. Which is funny, right? Because that's the opposite of what most people say when you talk about a music degree. But so that's what I did. I applied to a bunch of quote unquote prestigious universities, and I got into one. And that was really cool. I mean, technically I got into 2. I got waitlisted for one, and then I got rejected from one, and then I just didn't finish my audition for another one because if you guys don't know, music school auditions are ass. Like, they suck, okay? Oh, man. This is another story. This is another story for another day, but I had an audition for a particular music school that everybody knows. And oh man, I flunked my interview so well. No. I did a good job in the interview. I just bombed the audition. Like, I was singing a song that I know by heart, and I just forgot the lyrics. But I'll have to talk about that. I'll have to talk about that at a different time. That was the school that I got waitlisted to, though. So hey, I mean, I don't know how that happened, but I guess they liked my submissions or whatever. But I did actually get into one, and that was really cool. And so my mom and we flew up there, and it was in like a big music city. I mean, well, yeah, I mean, it's not super big per se, but it is like a very renowned music city, okay? And my university was right in the middle of the city, and it was so cool. And I just kind of had this like dread in the back of my mind because I was like, well, unless they give me like a ton of scholarships and financial aid, okay, and I got like a small scholarship for like academics, but I would have needed like a half ride, like a talent-based half ride or something. And I hadn't got my financial aid package yet, but I didn't get a talent-based scholarship, which is no surprise, right? Because obviously there are people applying to this thing that are way better than me and whatever. But regardless, I hadn't actually received like my financial aid package yet. So, still hadn't got it. And my mom and I, we flew up there for the like student, not orientation, but the like, oh, prospective students, come and look at our school and whatever, and we'll get you really excited for it, blah, 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 so you can pay us a ton of money. So we're like, okay. So we go there. The campus is beautiful. People are beautiful. Everyone is nice. Everyone is hot. I don't know what it is about this city, but like everyone there was hot. It was crazy. And we get to the financial aid office, and we're talking to this super nice guy, and we're like, yeah, I just like, we haven't received our package yet. And he's like, oh, that's weird. So he looks on the thing, and by the way, we had already applied for FAFSA, but I had applied late, so they weren't giving me any money. And this dude, looks on his little computer, right? It's like, oh yeah, you have no financial aid. I was like, damn. So that kind of sucked. That kind of sucked, man. I got straight up blue balled there, essentially, and went home with a sour taste in my mouth. I don't know. I was really confused when that happened and like why that happened, because I thought for sure that like everything was lining up for me going there. So yeah, but I started looking into other options. I started looking into like maybe doing some stuff online, like a more artist focused producing deal or whatever. So then I was like, well, maybe I'm just gonna go to university for computer science. So I went and I looked at a bunch of universities, I applied to a bunch of those, and did that whole fiasco. And then I came to the conclusion that the new plan is going to be the old plan, and I'm probably just going to do freaking community college for computer science, which was the original plan. So all of that was kind of for nothing, it feels like. And I mean, I know it wasn't for nothing. Like I really believe that all things happen for a reason, but yeah, that whole experience, like that was really ass. Like that sucked. I mean, it was great, but just to have it all like yanked out from under me kind of sucked. So I even wrote I wrote what I thought was a really pretty song about it, but it didn't end up coming out. Like I just finished it a week or two ago, but it just wasn't good enough to release per se. It was kind of jumbled, I guess, but yeah. I'll probably cap the video here as it's getting kind of long, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to rant about all that. That's where I'm at right now, man. I just trying to figure out how I'm going to reach my goals and also make my parents happy, and also be able to support a family, and also have friends, and also have a girlfriend, and also make art that I am happy with. I don't know. I mean, I don't want this to come off as whiny or anything, because I am so blessed. like truly, I am blessed. And I wouldn't trade my life for anything, but is that true? Would I not trade my life for anything? I don't know. I have to think about that. But regardless, man, it is a struggle being an artist. Not gonna lie. So anyway, yeah, if you enjoyed, like the video. If you did not enjoy, then don't dislike the video, but leave an angry comment so that I still get engagement. And yeah, see you later.